Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. Sunday NFL action. It's the undefeated Carolina Panthers, 14-0, playing the Atlanta Falcons, who finally got off the snide last week, Brian. They got a big win in Jacksonville. I don't know if you can call it a big win, but when you've lost as many in a row as Atlanta did, any win's big. What do you think about the Carolina Panthers?
Jacksonville's actually playing pretty good ball. I'm surprised they lost that. I think they're still alive for a playoff spot, by the way.
Well, they're in another one of those divisions.
Terrible divisions.
And, you know, whoever makes it out of the NFC East and the AFC South, people are going to be salivating to match up against them in the playoffs.
Yeah. In the last video, we talked about value in the lines and what the lines maker have to do if you have teams fighting for the playoffs. Obviously, Carolina, everybody on that team wants to go 16-0. I mean, that's obvious. They want to do it. But they could be resting some of their players this week and next week, but we'll have to come and see. But you also had the favorites come in really big last week, so this is another game that the line's a little bit too high here. Last week they played the New York Giants, a 6-8 team who is in the worst division in the NFL. The line was basically 5. Now they're playing the Atlanta Falcons, a 7-7 team, still alive for the playoffs, in a better division. And the line's 7. So we're getting line value right there with them. And if you take a look at it from Atlanta's standpoint, 2 weeks ago, they lose this game 38-0. Embarrassed. A lot of people said they quit, they died, they gave up. As a professional athlete, the last thing you want to do is be told that you're a quitter. And now just 2 weeks ago, they lose 38-0. Now they get a chance to avenge that actually. And they're doing it against a Carolina team who, going into last week, they had 3 wins to go on the season to get to the perfect record. Everybody said that was the game. The Giants were the game. And they got a big lead, they gave it up, and now they really had to struggle to win that game. Now they go and they play a team they beat 2 weeks ago, 38-0, and they have Tampa Bay on deck. If there's a letdown, it's got to be right here for Carolina. You're laying, once again, a touchdown here. I like the dog here. I think Atlanta, after that situation where they were blown out and their manhood was called into question, they go on the road last week and beat, like I said, a Jacksonville team who's playing a lot better ball right now. I think we've got an advantage here.
I agree with what you're saying on Atlanta. The situation's absolutely perfect for them. Getting back to Carolina for 1 second, really, if you look at the big picture, for Carolina, they would have been better served, in my opinion, if they lost that game last week. Because as long as they're still undefeated, they've got that bullseye on their back where they got to play every game to the hilt. Because everybody wants to be the team that ends history, their run at history. And then for the coach himself, he has to start dealing with the questions. We remember a few years back when Indianapolis was undefeated and they elected to sit players and everybody questioned it, and of course they lost it. And I think it ruined their mojo going into the playoffs. This Carolina team, they were in a dogfight last week. It was a hard-hitting game. I mean, obviously you saw the fines, the suspensions, and Cam Newton took several shots in that game. Different times he got up, limping, grimacing, clutching his chest and stuff. You lose Cam Newton, this team's done. I think that when you talk about MVPs for teams,
he'll win the MVP this
year.
Yeah,
there's no, he might not have the numbers that maybe some of the other quarterbacks have passing-wise, but there isn't a player that means more to a team than he does to this team, and they're nothing without him. And at some point, you got to think about protecting him too, not to be taking those shots. So for Carolina, I gotta say, you just want to get in and get out. And with the revenge factor, like you said, being embarrassed, I got to agree with you, with that. And it comes quickly. This is not like a month ago.
You rarely see that quick turnaround revenge you have here.
So this is there's not a video best bet. This is just a free play from you. But you do say take Atlanta plus the points. I got to agree with Brian on this one. And as we said in our last video, hey, check out all the weekend all-access packages at WagerTalk. A lot of big plays, and some of the guys may end up having their, a big bowl game of the year. There's a lot of bowl games coming up over the next few days. Anything they release from Thursday through Monday, it's available for $69. Just pick your favorite capper and get the $69 all-access package. It's the best deal going. Be sure to check out all the other videos. We've got a lot more college bowl action coming up at WagerTalk.com.